Oshi no Ko Volume 2 review. This review contains spoilers for Volume 1 Oshi no Ko, and by extension, the feature-length pilot episode and the anime adaptation. This is story best experienced by going in blind. So if you wish to get into the series, you have to see the pilot or read the first volume. So I highly recommend you to stop reading this review now. Pop idol Ai Hoshino was murdered in her apartment 10 years ago. So the publisher left a legacy of music and acting behind, but in private, she also left behind her twins, Aqua and Ruby. Since her death, the now teenagers have been impacted by their mother's death in different ways. Ruby is single-minded and wanted to become an idol herself, no matter what it takes. Aqua, on the other hand, only has revenge on his mind to track down the man, his biological father, responsible for Ai's death. In order to do that, he plans to get a foot in the door of the entertainment industry by any means, whether it be via production or acting, but he's also determined to make sure that Ruby does not end up with the same fate as their mother. The first volume of Oshi no Ko was a roller coaster ride of storytelling and emotions. It started the book following in the footsteps of a doctor obsessed with a particular idol, and the book ends with the same doctor, having been reincarnated in the body of Ai's child, having witnessed her being murdered, and realizing that the same man who killed her also murdered him a few years earlier. The book always swayed from destructuring the entertainment industry to wish fulfillment, from comedy to murder mystery, and so on. The second book is a lot more focused, as stated at the end of the first book. The prologue is now done. This is the true start of the story. Those who enjoy the roller coaster aspect of Volume 1 may be a little disappointed to see that Volume 2 calms things down and follows Ruby and Aqua's story more closely, without any jumps on time. But to appreciate a roller coaster, you could just have high drops and loop the whole loops. You also need slow sections and calmer parts to make the writers appreciate the highs more. So that's what Volume 2 is all about. We had the first high and now we're slowing things down. Was also starting to build the investigation that Aqua begins to his book, trying to track down his father. The first third of Volume 2 focuses on Ruby's attempts to get an idol contract, but it's not long before she and Aqua end up in a special high school, which is an entertainment department filled with idols, actresses, spin-up models, etc., who already have contracts so they can have a standard education while also maintaining their glamorous careers. This is also where Kana, child actress from Volume 1, makes a comeback. Now a teenager and known as a former child star, she requests Aqua's help in her first TV role for many years. It's during this mini-plot that the construction of the underbelly of the entertainment industry continues with the first volume. Whereas the first volume concentrated mostly on the idol industry, with a brief look into movies, this volume shows the TV industry focusing on the making of live drama series adapted from manga. It's actually heartbreaking in the panel where the glimpse the manga creator saying, "Do not get your hopes up" when it comes to adaptations, and the line about trying to cram too much material into a short drama while also being very relatable to anyone who's watched a movie or TV show. That's a poor adaptation on the book series that they love. The tight production schedule, the lack of budget to make the show, and even the reaction fake Twitter screen grabs from those watching all feel very authentic. The last page of this book teases a look into a different type of TV production, which will be interesting to read about. It's nice that Oshi no Ko can tackle different subject matters and hit it out of the park without coming across as unfocused, because the characters make little mention of remembering their previous lives. One will say that the backstory isn't necessary for the drama, but it actually creates a lot of subtext to think about for each of the twins. Ruby seems to be very naive when we first see her in this book, being determined to become an idol, even if it means getting involved with underground sketchy management. You also think that because her mom was murdered by an idol fan, Ruby will want to stay away from for all that. But it makes sense considering Ruby's previous life. She was sickly a child who died before in her teens, unable to move her body and do anything outside of watching Ai on repeat from her hospital bed. It makes sense that in this life, one where she is free from sickness and able to physically move more than she ever could in her previous life, and she would want to throw herself into something that she is passionate about, no matter the downsides or cost to get it, because one day it could all be taken away. The same goes for Aqua. He was an older man, a doctor with more life experience before he was murdered, so going into this life, he's got a lot of more emotional maturity and knowledge of how the world works. Training to be a doctor will require a lot of determination, years invested in order to qualify, not to mention being able to handle unique kinds of pressure. So learning the ways of the entertainment industry while slowly uncovering evidence on who his father is. Yeah, I can see that someone like him doing that. The trauma of seeing his mother idol he admired murdering in front of him, combined with the unique circumstances of knowing his past life and knowing it was the same man who also caused his murder. explaining why his worldview has turned cynical and dark and his over the involvement nature into his sister's affair. They are no means healthy means of coping with his trauma, but it certainly makes for unique drama which Oshinoko excels at. We get a new translator for this volume, Taylor Engel, and admittedly I did not this at first because the language flow for volume 1 quite easily. I will say that the translation notes are not as comprehensive as they were in the first volume, only a single page where volume 1 has 3 pages, but the translation is easy to read. Volume 2 might be a slower ride than Volume 1, but Oshinoko continues to be an entertaining read for the themes and the characters. It's no wonder the anime has exploded as it has, and the manga is so popular in Japan. Volume 2 is now out via Yan Press. Our review copy for Yan Press was supplied by Diamond Book Distributors UK, 8 out of 10.